This is a story that actually happened to my daughter when she was like 6 years old. And from all of the research that I've done, this is something that has happened to like millions of people. Most people by now or at some point in their lives have heard of the shadow man or like the man with a top hat. For my daughter's experience, she did not see the man with the top hat, but she did see a shadow man. And she was about 6 years old. She'll tell you to this day the same story that she told me and her dad when she was 6. It's never changed. And she is adamant that it happened to her. So, like I said, when she was about 6, she was in her room and she was laying with her dad. Her dad was trying to help her fall asleep on her bed. Her dad actually fell asleep and she was still awake, which was not uncommon at the time. She never slept. But anyway, she was laying in the bed on the outside of the bed. Her dad was on the inside of the bed, and she saw a man in her room. It was a black shadow in the form and the silhouette of a man. She was very adamant that it was a man. And she looked over at her dad, and her dad was sleeping. And then she looked back over at the man. He was still there. And then she moved to like peer around the side of her bed to see the full thing, and it disappeared like before her eyes. So it wasn't like she looked at him, looked away, and then looked back and it was gone. She said as she was looking at the shadow man, he disappeared before her eyes. So there were no features on him, like she couldn't see eyes, nose, mouth, nothing like that. It was just a black silhouette of a man. And she's very adamant about this, and to this day she talks about the man. It's always been the man. She came in my room, started immediately telling me about the man, and the man was a conversation that we had probably every day for like a year because she was so scared of it. Even to this day, like when I was talking to her and told her that I was going to tell the story, like she was like, I don't really like talking about it, but maybe like talking about it again will kind of make me feel better. She's 15 now, so it still bothers her. So if you research like the story of the shadow man, so many people have seen this, especially as children. So there's so many different meanings that it could possibly have. None I really think apply to her. I mean, well, so it means that you could definitely, like one of the things that it means is that you could be like super sensitive to paranormal things. So I don't necessarily think she in particular is sensitive to paranormal things, but I do think that she is sensitive to energy like me, and an empath, and can read people's, energy and things like that. So, I mean, that's kind of different. But the other meanings are that, you could have psychological problems or night terrors. And, she doesn't have any psych problems, and she's never really had night terrors. So I don't know. Have you had this experience, or do you know anyone that has this experience? From what I understand, it's pretty common. And again, what she saw did not have a top hat. A lot of people see someone that has a top hat, and hers did not. So let me know if you had a similar experience. Maybe I can kind of make her feel better about it.